If you do me, I do you, man no go vex. Step on the dance floor, man no go vex. Touch me, I touch you, man no go vex. You say, I say, man no go vex. Welcome to another exciting video from us, The Open Letter, where we aim to inspire opinions with facts. Today we want to talk about one of the most important issues we have as we go into 2023, gender equality in governance in Nigeria. The above song I sang are lines from P-Square's monster hit track, Do Me, which was released in 2007 and rocked our ears and airwaves massively. Remember those days? It was such a huge success that if the song was played in a gathering of children who were born in 2007, the same year the song was released, the children we call the Indomie generation, many of them will still sing along. That's how popular that song was. However, what many of them fail to realize is that the song goes ahead to score a point for gender equality in Nigeria. The line, what a man can do, a woman can do so, is a reminder of the fact that though men and women are different, they are both capable if given the opportunity. The past 3 years saw the rise of women in international governance. For instance, the breakout of the coronavirus pandemic tested the leadership capabilities of every government across the world. It required leaders to be proactive, decisive, and prompt because of the volatile nature of the pandemic. Nonetheless, some of the nations with very good coronavirus response had one thing in common. Do you want to take a guess? Female leaders. That's right. From Iceland to Taiwan to Germany, women stepped up to show the world how to manage a messy patch for a human family. Not to forget Finland, Iceland, and Denmark, of course, where the pandemic revealed that women have what it takes when things get difficult. So how is Nigeria doing regarding this? Let's talk about Nigeria. Back here, it seemed like the race to gender equality has taken a backward slope. When former President Goodluck Jonathan was campaigning in 2011, one of his key campaign promises was to make at least 35% of all his political appointees female. His wife, Patience Jonathan, the First Lady, made sure he lived up to this promise and ensured he delivered. Though 35% is an equality, it is far better than what had been the norm in Nigeria at that time. The Buhari administration, on the other hand, has taken this matter with a pinch of salt. During the ministerial screening of ministerial appointees, only 7 out of 43 were women. This is about 16%. Women also hold about 7% of all elected positions. With 7%, that means Nigeria has one of the lowest rates of women involvement in governance in the world, even though they make up to 50% of the electorate. The people who actually have the right to vote. See, far back as 2014, the Swedish government adopted the world's first explicitly feminist foreign policy, an approach that aimed to address barriers to gender equality and includes a gender perspective in all policy development and decision making. Don't think of feminism as you see on Nigerian Twitter these days, where someone keeps asking who should or who should not cook egusi at home. Think of it as what feminism really is, giving women equal opportunity. And that is exactly what Sweden did. Because of that, countries like Canada, the country we all like to escape to, Mexico, even France, where our politicians keep our looted Commonwealth, have adopted the same policies. Since we like to emulate other nations, well, here's one move to emulate. Here's a fact to know. In the economic space, by virtue of the population of Nigeria, the potential female labor force is about 50%, but the actual value is 31%. The proportion of women in the formal sector is very minimal. This is noticeable in the industries and civil services. Statistics indicate that in the Federal Civil Service, which is the highest employer in the country, women are mostly found in junior roles. Can our women lead, you might ask? If you ask me, now who I go ask? Of course they can. Can I shock you? Some of the finest public servants Nigeria has ever had were women. And yes, I said what I just said. I know you might not believe me, but don't worry, I came with receipts. Let's look at that. First, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala served as a Nigerian minister in 2 separate administrations and has gone on to become the first black, the first woman, first African, and most importantly, the first Nigerian to lead the World Trade Organization. We have the late Professor Dora Akunyili, who led NAFDAC for years and eradicated counterfeit food drugs in Nigeria. She was such a dedicated public servant that, according to History View, at her death, she had won over 900 awards. No Nigerian dead or alive has won more.